Is in the Jasper area. Some of the big paintings that are in many parts of the world now in big companies, they come from the very top and the ridges above the Jasper area.
He's 100 years old and is still creating original art inspired by the Australian landscape. Leonard Long celebrated his century last month and marked it with an exhibition of new work in rural Yass. Nearly 500 people came to pay tribute to the man on the exhibition's opening night. He says it is his final show, but he'll never give up painting.
I was approaching 100 years old, and I said, how the devil I got there, I don't know, but I decided that the only thing to do would be to have a final exhibition, and I decided to call it The Story of My Life with Paint.
Leonard Long was born in 1911 and grew up in Mittagong in the New South Wales Southern Highlands. He was introduced to art when he began an apprenticeship with the local watchmaker.
He loved art, and he had advertised in the local paper he wanted a lad with an artistic temperament. And Mum said, right, that's you, we'll go up to see this man. And then that was the most fortunate thing of my life, because Walter Birchall was a frustrated artist.
Long began painting on the weekends, and by the late 1930s he'd become a member of the Royal Art Society.
Hyson, Gruner, Robert Johnson, Norman Lindsay. I became friends with quite a few of them, and that started me off seriously in the art world.
By the 1950s he was able to quit watchmaking and focus on painting. Clients sent him all over Australia and the world to paint.
I was always a bushman because for 15 years, John Downton and Michael McCarthy, we had our small little high-ace camper vans, and for 15 years we travelled Australia, and we'd go away and we'd be back 2 or 3 weeks in the bush. We'd come back with a cartload of paintings finished on the spot. The galleries would all be waiting, and they'd grab them quick smart. John Brackenrig of the Artarmon Gallery in Sydney, he asked me would I be interested in going and working with Albert Namatjira. And Albert and I spent 6 weeks together. We had an exhibition in Sydney together, both sold out. Working with Albert was a very different thing altogether. He was quite a character of a man.
Leonard Long doesn't have much time for abstract art or the egos of the art aristocracy.
I don't like the big smart boys that we've got in the art world today telling me, I'm not going to mention some of the names that are going today, but it's quite ridiculous. The huge high prices, 50 or 60,000 for what? Nothing. You could do it with your eyes closed. It's not the easiest thing to paint the Australian landscape accurately. The magnificent gums that are around, they fascinate me. I love the things. I asked Norman Lindsay one time, what are the main elements for a good painting? He said, good drawing, good composition, good colour, and don't forget yours, he said, values. Don't forget your tonal values. He put a little word in there that I left out.
Though he now lives in Melbourne, Leonard Long's Centenary is being celebrated in Yass, near one of his favourite old stomping grounds.
I spent about 60 years in the Jasper area. Some of the big paintings that are in many parts of the world now in big companies, They come from the very top and the ridges above Jasper area. There's those beautiful hills, ridges, and whatever morning light, afternoon light changes. Amazing. Because I've got books and books and books of sketches. I'm still doing some pictures of around there. People say, now you're retired now, and I said, oh yes, until I get back in the studio, there's 3 big commissions sitting there waiting to be done. I'm still working 5 days a week in the studio, and that's what I'll keep doing.
Not bad for 100. That exhibition ends this Sunday at the Kim Nelson Gallery in Yass.